Other brands in panic mode? Chanel skyrockets overnight after Jungkook becomes ambassador. Who just lost the most? In the world of luxury fashion, moments of disruption rarely arrive without warning. Yet one question suddenly echoed across the global beauty industry the moment the clock struck midnight in Seoul. How did Chanel manage to dominate the world conversation in less than a single night simply by announcing one name? Jungkook? And perhaps the more dangerous question whispered inside the boardrooms of rival brands was even sharper. Who is losing the most from this seismic shift? The uproar began the moment Chanel officially crowned Jungkook of BTS as their newest global ambassador for fragrances and beauty on December 12, 2025. Within minutes, traffic to Chanel's website spiked so violently that digital analysts compared the graph to a vertical cliff, an image that instantly became a meme among fans. But beneath the humor, one reality became unmistakable. Chanel had just activated an influence force that no brand on earth could afford to ignore. Across social media, fans and journalists were already asking, was this a strategic move shaped by years of observation? Or did Chanel simply strike gold with the most influential Gen Z global idol alive? And more notably, why did it send competing brands into quiet, but undeniable, panic? The announcement itself was elegant, classic, and almost disarmingly simple. Chanel released a single statement naming Jungkook as their new global face for fragrances and beauty, accompanied by a series of photos that showcased him in a minimalistic black sweater, shot with the calm confidence of someone who needs no excessive styling to command attention. But what followed was not simple at all. Within hours, the world of luxury beauty transformed into a battleground of metrics, comparisons, and whispered corporate fear. Chanel's numbers surged. Rival brands trembled. But what was it specifically about this partnership that sent Dior, Prada, and others scrambling behind the scenes? Why did millions of fans online declare that other brands can only watch as Chanel levels up alone? And what makes this brand idol pairing feel less like a collaboration and more like an unstoppable cultural event? To understand the phenomenon, one must start with the announcement itself. According to Chanel's official statement released on December 11th, Jungkook was selected because he embodied the very essence of the house, timeless heritage reinvented with bold modernity. Thomas du Pré de Saint-Maur, the brain behind Chanel's global creative resources for fragrance and beauty, described Jungkook not just as a star, but as a continually evolving talent redefining the codes of creation today. His words were deliberate, almost poetic, and they carried the unmistakable implication that Chanel saw in Jungkook not just influence, but future legacy. And then there was Jungkook's own response, delivered with a sincerity that struck fans deeply. He expressed honor, gratitude, and an artistic connection to Chanel's identity as a house that respects its legacy while fearlessly transforming itself. He spoke about embracing challenges, staying true to his style, and working with a brand that aligns with his artistic journey. For fans, this wasn't a scripted corporate message. It felt like a heartfelt declaration. Suddenly, the collaboration wasn't just business. It felt like destiny. But destiny alone doesn't explode a brand's metrics overnight. The real shockwave came from the public reaction. The fandom, notoriously powerful, began spreading the news at lightning speed. On X, formerly Twitter, accounts like @chartsdalic triggered a chain reaction by sharing the official photos, each post gathering tens of thousands of likes and reposts within hours. Army's celebratory messages flooded timelines worldwide, many joking that Chanel's perfumes might sell out before they even reached shelves. One viral comment read, "Chanel didn't choose an ambassador. They chose the global market." Another, sharper and more humorously brutal, instantly trended. "Other brands can only watch Chanel ascend alone." And suddenly the narrative shifted. It was no longer just about Jungkook joining Chanel. It was about the hierarchy of brand influence and who was falling behind. This raised the question that luxury insiders didn't dare to ask publicly. Were Dior, Prada, and others truly prepared to compete with the Jungkook effect? After all, this was not the first time Jungkook had ignited a brand's momentum. His previous collaborations had sold out products globally within minutes. His solo activities had charted internationally. His album Golden became a defining pop record of 2023. And now, with his influence sharpened by years of global domination, he was stepping into Chanel, a house already powerful, but now turbocharged. For critics and fashion analysts, the real tension lay not in Chanel's win, but in the looming losses for competitors. Brand executives who once felt secure with high-profile ambassadors now found themselves facing brutal comparison charts compiled by fans and media. Dior, once seen as dominating the K-pop influence space, was suddenly being treated like yesterday's headline. Prada, known for its sharp marketing strategies, began trending solely because fans compared its ambassadors' results with Jungkook's overnight impact. Even brands with massive celebrity rosters felt the tremor. The question repeated endlessly online: who loses the most when Jungkook gains the world? Chanel's own internal objectives added more weight to this competitive storm. They had been seeking younger, dynamic global talents who could redefine the house for a new generation. Jungkook, with his magnetic presence, fearless creativity, and unmatched fan engagement, checked every box and then rewrote the checklist entirely. Fashion publications like WWD highlighted that Jungkook's partnership marked a significant turning point, not just for him but for Chanel's global identity. His influence reached beyond fashion. It touched music, culture, digital engagement, and cross-continental markets. A single campaign featuring him could impact markets from Seoul to Los Angeles to Paris in one sweep, and so beauty brands worldwide found themselves confronting an unforgiving truth. Jungkook is not merely an ambassador. He is a global economy. As Chanel's numbers soared, other brands quietly adjusted their strategies. Marketing teams held emergency meetings. Analysts recalculated project goals. Executives studied social media reactions with laser focus. Even competing ambassadors began trending, not because of their achievements, but because netizens compared them to Jungkook's explosive reception. Whispers grew louder. Did Chanel just shift the entire beauty and fashion industry with a single announcement? The unfolding drama only intensified when fans began investigating traffic spikes, product trends, and regional engagement rates. Screenshots went viral showing Chanel surpassing competitors in search data overnight. The word Jungkook trended alongside Chanel in more than 60 countries. Video edits showcasing his past fashion moments circulated faster than brands could track. And still, one question remains suspended in the air like an unclosed headline. Is this partnership simply a beginning, or the beginning of the end for brands that failed to evolve? Jungkook is now positioned as a cultural force reshaping how luxury houses approach young global audiences. Chanel, once revered as a symbol of timeless French elegance, suddenly feels reborn with a cross-generational, cross-cultural appeal. The partnership hints at future campaigns, cinematic fragrance films, bold editorial shoots, fashion moments that will spark global frenzy. And amid all this, there is a sense of inevitability. A sense that this collaboration will not be the last shock in the industry, but it might be the biggest catalyst of the new luxury era. The world now watches, breath held, scrolling endlessly, whispering the same provocative question that first set the internet ablaze. If Chanel has already skyrocketed after just one night with Jungkook, what happens next? And which brand will fall hardest as his influence continues to rise? As the world absorbed the announcement, speculation spread like wildfire. Fashion forums lit up with heated debates. Could any other ambassador generate this kind of immediate, quantifiable global impact? Netizens dissected every previous campaign from Dior, Prada, and even Gucci, and the verdict was unanimous in certain corners. Jungkook's effect was unparalleled. Some threads humorously labeled it the Chanel Jungkook tsunami, noting that not even the most carefully orchestrated celebrity campaigns could replicate the speed and scope of his influence. But was it merely fandom enthusiasm, or a seismic shift in how brands would need to structure their global strategy? The answer seems embedded in the numbers. Within 24 hours of the announcement, Chanel's online store experienced a surge not previously recorded in its digital history. Analysts from multiple e-commerce tracking platforms reported traffic spikes of over 350%, a figure typically seen during Black Friday or Christmas sales. Yet, This was mid-December, with no new product launches, just the power of Jungkook's name, amplified by his unprecedented global fanbase. And here lies the first big question facing luxury brand executives everywhere. Can traditional marketing campaigns ever compete with an influencer whose every appearance triggers instantaneous global engagement? The magnitude of Jungkook's influence is further illuminated when looking at the reactions of other brands. Dior, long considered Chanel's closest competitor in K-pop ambassador strategy, suddenly found its campaigns overshadowed, despite years of high-profile partnerships. Prada, often praised for innovative campaigns, saw social media conversations shift away from their carefully curated launches to discussions comparing their ambassadors with Jungkook's new role. It became clear almost overnight that influence was no longer measured by the number of campaigns but by engagement, virality, and cultural resonance. And Jungkook had just redefined that metric. Fans didn't just observe, they became the pulse of the movement. The ARMY community flooded comment sections, not with mere congratulations, but with data-like analysis, regional engagement percentages, pre-order surges, social reach estimates. They even began comparing Jungkook's reach with that of other global icons, sparking the inevitable conversation. Are we witnessing the birth of the first truly transcontinental luxury ambassador whose impact surpasses both fashion and music industries simultaneously? The impact on Chanel itself was nothing short of extraordinary. Internally, executives reportedly convened multiple high-level meetings to discuss the unprecedented success and brainstorm the next phases of collaboration. Rumors suggest that the initial campaign could be just the beginning, with plans for cinematic-style fragrance videos, interactive digital experiences, and exclusive AR filters in mobile apps. Analysts predict that this collaboration might even redefine standard ambassador contracts, where previously numerical metrics were estimated conservatively. Jungkook's presence introduced an era where virality and fan devotion could no longer be considered secondary. They are now central to strategic planning. Meanwhile, social media did what it does best. It amplified every nuance, every reaction, and every comparison. On TikTok, videos juxtaposing Chanel campaigns before and after Jungkook's announcement went viral. On Instagram, fan edits highlighted his effortless charisma in Chanel imagery, often using split-screen comparisons against other brands' ambassadors. And on X, threads with titles like "Why Jungkook Just Broke the Ambassador Market" trended globally. Each post, share, and comment reinforced the narrative. Chanel's move was not just clever, it was revolutionary. Yet amid the celebration, whispers of anxiety among competing luxury brands grew louder. Some insiders admitted off-record that they hadn't fully anticipated the immediate scale of Jungkook's influence. Their campaigns, meticulously planned over months, suddenly seemed insufficient in the wake of a single announcement. Boardrooms reportedly buzzed with questions. How do we respond? Should we pivot our ambassador strategy entirely? Or is this a unique, unrepeatable phenomenon? These are not just rhetorical questions. They are existential for brands in a hyper-competitive global market. Even more intriguingly, this isn't merely about numbers or social metrics. Jungkook embodies a cultural bridge, the seamless fusion of K-pop global fandom, fashion luxury, and digital native engagement. For the first time, a single ambassador is not just promoting products. He is shaping the conversation about what luxury means in the 21st century. Could it be that we are witnessing a paradigm shift, where cultural relevance is now as critical as brand heritage itself? And if so, which brands are prepared to survive this new reality? Some industry experts suggest that Jungkook's appointment could mark a turning point in how brands approach cross-market influence. Whereas past ambassador roles often relied on visibility in select markets, Jungkook's presence guarantees instantaneous attention from Asia, North America, Europe, and beyond. It's not just marketing, it's a global event. Analysts have noted that this multi-market resonance forces competitors to reconsider not just product launches, but messaging, timing, and even creative direction. Luxury fashion is no longer just about tradition. It is now about synchronized, global cultural impact. But what about the emotional dimension? For fans, this collaboration transcends commerce. It is a personal and collective experience. Every share, like, and comment becomes a part of a communal celebration. The ARMY's engagement is visceral, emotional, and fervent. And as they amplify Jungkook's presence, they inadvertently elevate Chanel to an almost mythical status. This is not simply brand loyalty. It is a form of digital devotion that no traditional marketing strategy could replicate. The media frenzy surrounding this partnership has also reshaped the way announcements are perceived. The timing, the imagery, and the minimalistic yet powerful presentation all contributed to an aura of inevitability. Suddenly, it wasn't enough to simply have a celebrity ambassador. Brands now need ambassadors who create events out of announcements, turning marketing campaigns into cultural phenomena. The question lingers: which other brands can adapt to this new standard and which will simply fade into the background? Chanel, for its part, seems to embrace this challenge with confidence. Internal reports suggest plans for a multi-phase campaign leveraging Jungkook's versatility: fragrance ads, beauty tutorials, fashion spreads, and interactive fan engagements. Every move appears calculated to maximize both global reach and emotional resonance. And with each passing hour, the anticipation for the first campaign release grows exponentially. Fans speculate endlessly. Will the ads feature cinematic storytelling, intimate behind-the-scenes glimpses, or a mix of music and haute couture? The suspense itself fuels social media engagement, creating a feedback loop where curiosity drives visibility and visibility drives curiosity, a modern marketing masterstroke.